When a player is plagued with injuries and spends more time on the bench than running the pitch on match day for a full 90 minutes, people begin to assume he's washed up. But that's far from the case with Christian Pulisic. In fact, despite long injury spells and a recent history of keeping the bench nice and toasty for his teammates at Chelsea, Pulisic remains a hot commodity and the priciest U.S. men's national team member. Although his value has noticeably decreased, Pulisic has drawn interest from Serie A, La Liga, and other Premier League clubs, a tangible sign that the player is very much wanted. And a move from the Blues, who have spent a whopping €611 million only to finish the 2022-2023 season mid-table with no invitation to any European competition next season, will be mutually beneficial to Chelsea and Pulisic. The Blues would be able to recoup some of the money they wasted during their failed attempt to build a team that can win, and Pulisic can better position himself to line up with a first team again and participate in a full game consistently, rather than watching one from a front row seat. Let's take a brief look at Pulisic's time at Chelsea, then review 6 potential moves the player might make during the 2023-2024 summer trade window. Pulisic's move from Dortmund to Chelsea was historic. The Blues paid a total of £57 million for the then 19-year-old player, which made him the most expensive North American player of all time. Despite moving to Chelsea, Pulisic rounded out his first season with the Blues at his previous club, Dortmund, as he stayed with the Black and Yellows on loan through the 2018-2019 season, during which Dortmund were runners-up for the title. Once Pulisic returned to West London, he made history once again as, at 21, he became the youngest Chelsea player to ever score a hat-trick. The perfect hat-trick came during an away win against Burnley, and it also made Pulisic the only American, aside from Clint Dempsey, to score a hat-trick in the Premier League. Continuing his record-breaking spree, Pulisic scored a goal against Arsenal in the FA Cup final, which made him the first American to do so. During the 2020-2021 season, Pulisic's injury woes had him debut for the season in the fall on October 3rd off the bench during a 4-0 win against Crystal Palace. Despite beginning the season with an injury, the 2020-2021 season turned out to be a fruitful one for Pulisic and Chelsea as they won the Champions League. And Pulisic's record-breaking spree continued. He became the youngest Chelsea player and the first American to score in the Champions League semifinals. Later in the competition, Pulisic became the first American to play in the Champions League final and the second American to win the competition after Jovan Krivosky in 1997, who had also played for BVB. The 2021-2022 season started off similar to the previous one for Pulisic, as he didn't play between the season opener in August until November because of an ankle problem. Between the injury and contracting COVID, Pulisic missed a total of 11 games and spent 5 on the bench. Despite this, Pulisic was able to help Chelsea to a FIFA Club World Cup win. As many know, Chelsea didn't enjoy much success during the 2022-2023 season despite spending a large sum of money, €611.49 million to be exact. Pulisic only started in 8 games during the season and had to miss a total of 8 matches due to a knee problem. In 5 games, he was on the bench but didn't play, and in another 8, he came on pitch when there was only 20 minutes or less to play. So it goes without saying that Pulisic hasn't seen much action on the pitch lately, hence the need for a move to reinvigorate his career and push him to the next level. Let's talk about Pulisic's options for a move this summer. I thought it would be fun to primarily respond to Alexis Lalas's predictions for Pulisic's summer move from his Fox Sports article, which I've linked in the description. You can also watch Alexis Lalas and David Moss debate Pulisic's summer move toward the end of the article. Those who are familiar with Lalas's commentary know he has some interesting hot takes, so I thought it would be fun to contrast his opinions with mine. I'll also discuss a popular trade destination for Pulisic not mentioned in the article. I've re-ranked the order of the teams discussed to match my opinions. So, let's dive into it. Option number 6, Leeds United. This was Lalas's fourth choice, so essentially we agree that a Leeds move wouldn't be the best. However, I'm surprised Lala said Leeds would be a good place for Pulisic to, quote-unquote, try different things due to less pressure at the club that's barely medium-sized and the presence of several other Americans in Aronson, McKennie, and Adams. If Lalas's reference to different things means being on a losing or otherwise struggling team in a different kit, then yes, I agree. Particularly now that Leeds has been relegated. FYI, I know this article was written before the relegation, but I wrote this script before the last match day, and of course, my opinion hasn't changed much. Anyway, the assumption that Pulisic, who isn't yet a washed-up player by any means, would move to a fledgling club at this juncture of his career is odd at best. Option number 5, Real Madrid. This was Lalas's first choice, so we're a bit at odds here. With the competition at Real Madrid already between players like Hazard and Vinicius, along with newcomers in Renier and Brahim Diaz, and potentially Bellingham, Pulisic might find himself in a very similar situation to the one at Chelsea. Sure, players like Benzema, Kroos, and Modric won't be part of Madrid's near-term project. However, with a roster overflowing with attacking talent, it would be quite difficult for Pulisic to establish himself as a consistent starter, which is likely what he wants most at his next team. For those reasons, despite Madrid being one of the biggest teams in the world, I find it questionable that Lalas describes a potential offer from Madrid as one Pulisic can't, quote-unquote, refuse. Yes, Madrid are a great team. Pulisic would enjoy football at a similarly high level and have the chance to train with the best. But what he needs in addition is the opportunity to perform at his best. Pulisic needs a crawl, walk, run sort of start at his next destination. At Madrid, he'd be expected to be at the run phase from day one in order to beat other attacking midfielders for the start, and that might be a bit too much pressure on him at this time. Additionally, La Liga is arguably one of the less competitive leagues in football, with Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, and Real Madrid being the only real title competitors in the Spanish top flight for the past several years. If Pulisic must move to Spain, Atletico Madrid would marginally be the better choice. Option number 4, AC Milan. This was Lalas's third choice, so essentially we agree that Milan would be a decent fresh start. Of course, the AC Milan of today is not the Milan of 10 plus years ago. However, they last grabbed the Scudetto during the 2021-2022 season, which wasn't too far in the past. Perhaps a new team in a league he hasn't played in before will be the key to once more reinvigorating Pulisic's career. Nevertheless, Serie A is a very different animal, and if Pulisic can't tame that animal, being on the bench would be the least of his worries. In other words, it would be more difficult to find a soft landing if a move to Milan doesn't work out. But All in all, considering the midfield quality Pulisic possesses, it's reasonable to say a more likely scenario would be success at Il Rossoneri, since the team honestly need a helping hand. But it does appear that Milan might prefer to pluck Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea rather than Pulisic. Option number 3, Atletico Madrid. This was Lalas' fifth choice. Similar to a move to AC Milan, the chief reason why Pulisic should consider a move here is to take on a new challenge in a league different to the Premier League and Bundesliga. For Pulisic, La Liga would have the added benefit of being, arguably, the least challenging major league, which, of course, would lessen the pressure and increase the probability of success. This season, Atletico has been nipping at Real Madrid's heels and will likely finish in a strong third place. Furthermore, while the Copa del Rey has been out of Atletico's hands for about a decade, their last La Liga win was during the 2020-2021 season, only 3 years ago. So, with Pulisic, Atletico could reasonably aspire to win the title once more. All of that considered, a glaring problem for Pulisic remains Atletico's stacked squad with several attacking players in the likes of Lino, Cunha, Correa, and others. But Pulisic would gel with these players, and with Atletico's style of play. Defensive, with a strong midfield that takes advantage of opponents on the counter. Option number 2, Napoli. Lalas did not rank this option, but I think it would potentially be a great move for Pulisic. Of course, there's the fact that Napoli are recent title winners, and convincing ones at that, as they were crowned league winners early and established a double-digit lead over second-place Juventus. During the summer trade window, there's a reasonable likelihood that Napoli will look to cash in on players like Osimhen and stack up on their ranks with slightly cheaper yet just as competent talent. Lozano and Politano would likely be the most direct sources of competition for Pulisic. This climate is perfect for Pulisic's new start. He can be part of a budding project where Napoli will want to maintain a high level of success domestically and in Europe for as long as they can. As Napoli is arguably in the building stage of this project, there is a much higher likelihood that Pulisic will find himself on the roster with room to find his feet and show a high level of talent that we all have seen from him in the past. And in an environment such as the one Napoli are currently trying to cultivate, his talents will likely shine through at a level we've not yet seen. Option number 1, Newcastle United. Lalas and I essentially agree here. This was his second choice. Newcastle is hands down the best option Pulisic can make. You've got the familiarity with the Premier League and pace of play in combination with the promise of European football at the highest level. In addition, there's the fact that, like Napoli, this is the highest Newcastle has soared in recent history, as the 2023-2024 season will be their first one in the Champions League in 2 decades. So, again, similar to Napoli, Newcastle will undoubtedly have plans to stack up their team with proven, affordable talent. With Pulisic's recent transfer fee drop, this would be a great moment for the Magpies to strike and snatch up the attacking midfielder. In addition to the lower level of competition and less pressure at Newcastle, Pulisic would be a great match for their style of play. Can you imagine Pulisic linking up with a player like Isak on the opposite wing? Newcastle have already showed off their highly competent attack this season, and frankly, if there's any missing piece of the jigsaw, it's a seasoned attacking player with experience in European competition, youth, and affordable price tag. One like Pulisic. Almiron would be the primary direct competitor for the start for Pulisic, but it should be a healthy competition Pulisic can capitalize on. And that's that. So, where do you think Pulisic will find himself later this year? In Italy, Spain, or a new location in England? Personally, I'd be contented to see him at Napoli or Newcastle, so I'm really hoping his agents are encouraging those moves. Anyway, please follow me on all my socials. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. So I'll see you there, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.